Big Talker KIUL this hour is driven by Western Motor. ShopWesternMotor.com. ShopWesternMotor.com. Buzz Garner with Western Motor is my guest. Buzz, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Big Bill, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. It's going to be a better day today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was kind of yucky.
Yes, sir.
But going to be a nice day today. And so today we're going to talk about kind of the Pilot versus the Passport. Now, I'm very familiar with the Pilot, not as familiar with the Passport. So what's kind of the difference? What's the difference between the two?
So 20 years ago, we had the original Passport, which was interesting. That was one of Honda's first attempt at the mid-size SUV market, and very successful. But it wasn't quite. It just didn't quite work out. They weren't quite ready for it. But it was a good experiment, and so we've had real good success with the Pilot. And they decided that not everybody needs a third seat, and that there was some folks would like to take it off road. You go up into the mountains, go camping or whatever. So the Passport leans towards more off-road capability.
Okay.
And it's does not. The third seat was the biggest deal, although they have a little extra ground height and a little bit more aggressive look, and it's a pretty neat vehicle. They did a great job this time.
Engine-wise, are they the same? Everything outside of that third row, are they basically the same with the exception of that?
Powertrain is basically the same. It still has a 280 horsepower V6, which is it does still good on fuel, but good power. So the 9-speed transmission seems to help it a little bit, and it does have some towing capacity. But like I say, it sits up a little higher and it looks a little bit more aggressive, and it's just a nice package.
Yeah, no, I've seen them. I've driven multiple Pilots. I love the Pilot a lot. It's actually, if we can find one, if we can find one in a used one in our range, that may be our next one. If we're being honest, I love the Pilot a lot. Because you're getting that Honda, what you can trust is it's going to last a long time.
Yep. And
you're still getting good gas mileage, decent 20, 24-ish, 20 to 24 roughly.
23 to 26, somewhere in there. And the neatest thing is it sits up but not too high, but you don't fall down in it. And they're very easy to drive and very easy to see out of. I know people go, well, but you get in some vehicles and you can't see to the side of you or behind you. And of course, I know with the new electronics, and we all have that, especially these. So you have your lane assist and your adaptive cruise control and some different things. But and of course, everything now has a backup camera.
Yeah.
But if you're not a taller person, it's just nice to be able to see out of these.
And that's important for my wife, not as important for me being a giant, but for my wife who's quite small, it's so different. It takes me like 5 minutes to get the seat ready because she's all the way forward, and I'm all the way back.
Hey, man, I know. Yeah, and we have memory seats in some of those, and one thing Honda's really worked on is the quietness of the vehicle, and the Passport is quiet, and the comfort, the seating. And each time we've just had a complete redo on this for 2022, and man, they did a great job. The seats are really comfortable, and lots of room behind the second row seat. That's probably the big difference between the Passport and the Pilot is, you lift the back gate up and there's lots of room, and then that center seat does fold down, so it has as much room as or more than a lot of the competition.
Yeah, no, and it's both very, very, very nice vehicles. So in terms of the Passport to the Pilot price-wise, how do they compare in terms of that?
Pretty much the same.
Okay.
Our Passport EXL, which is a nice unit with leather, starts at $39, and then of course you can go on up through the pricing a little bit, but it's very competitive when you look at a lot of the competition, and a lot of these vehicles now it's pretty easy to get to 50 grand on
Yeah.
a lot of the competition. So it's they do a good job on the pricing.
Yeah, no, they really do. So, and it has this sensing technology. What's that? What's that all about?
So I really like that lane keeping. So you're going down the road, maybe you drift a little off to the right, and the white line, it will bring you back into the lane. And also the blind spot, so you're getting ready to change lanes, and there happens to be a smaller, shorter vehicle in there. And you never know. People come up behind you or to the side of you, and it will warn you, you know, and it gets pretty aggressive. And I think I mentioned adaptive cruise control, which is fairly new with a lot of vehicles.
I'm not. I have the. I don't have the beeping, like lane assist when I'm looking to switch lanes, but I have the light in the corner of my mirror.
Yeah.
I have that. Now, in terms of the lane keeping assist, how does that work? Like, does it just kind of jerk you back? I've seen the commercials, but I've never kind of been in a car where that's happened. How does that work?
Well, actually, Bill, they kind of work together, in my opinion. One, the road departure, it senses a white line to the right, and it will get very aggressive and correct the steering wheel. It will make the steering wheel actually move. So if you are maybe drowsy or sleepy a little bit or not paying attention, I mean, there's a lot of things. It is going to wake you up or get your attention real quick. So the steering wheel will vibrate aggressively.
Because as an example, I was in college coming back very, very, very late at night. Should have stayed on campus, but didn't get along with my roommates, and I wanted to go home. And I fell asleep in a car that was 3 weeks old. Haven't even made a payment on it yet.
Great.
Hadn't even made a payment on it yet. 3 weeks old. It was one of the Cube things. Chevy. HHR. The HHR.
Yep.
And flipped into a cornfield, double flip into a cornfield, walked away from it, just had a little tiny scrape here, and totaled the car. So basically what I'm hearing with this is this would have shaken the steering wheel, woken me up to allow me to get back onto the road.
Yeah, the road departure mitigation system will definitely wake you up, get your attention, whatever you want to call it, but it does all the above. And it, you know, I'll tell you, that's a pretty neat deal.
That's a really, really big deal, because for me as a parent of two kids, it's all about safety.
Sure.
It's all about safety. And so to have these features within the vehicle, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Well, it's just like adaptive cruise.
Kind of explain that if you could, because is it so like if you're coming up on a car that pulls out in front of you, let's say that never happens, and is going under the speed limit, or you're coming up on a truck that's going 50 and you were going 65, it would slow you down?
Yes, you can actually set, there's probably 2 or 3 positions you can actually set how close you can get to that car, and then it automatically will slow you down. You know, that to me is probably one of the neatest things also, and it works really well. So everybody has their own, you know, I want to run this close or this far away.
Yeah.
So like say you can adjust it. It does work, and it's also it's on some of the vehicles they have what they call forward braking warning. So someone pulls out in front of you, it will get aggressive and use the brakes to slow you down, which is not adaptive cruise, but they kind of work the same way.
Okay.
The adaptive cruise is really a neat thing. Once you have it, you'll want it. For sure.
Okay, so what are some of the what's some of the competition? What are some of the other vehicles like to compare with the Pilot and the Passport that are out there right now?
Well, so Ford Edge possibly, the Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 2-seater, the Hyundai Santa Fe, Subaru, Outback. Even some of the Toyota 4Runners. I mean, they're all kind of in that segment.
So in that basic ballpark.
Yes, sir. Same size.
My parents had an Edge. I couldn't stand it. That's just me, though.
Well, I mean, everybody's built different. The Passport does have for the size of vehicle, has a lot of headroom and a lot of leg room.
That was why I didn't like the Edge, because there's none of that. Yeah. None of that in the Edge at all.
I got you.
At all. So, okay, in terms of that, what do you have? What do you have on the lot right now in terms of the Passport, in terms of the Pilot?
Well, actually, we just got in a couple of 22 model Passports. One of them is an Elite model, which is the very top of the line, and then we have a Trail Sport, which is kind of in the middle of it, EXL, the Trail Sport, and the Elite. So they're all nicely equipped. The new vehicles are a little tight for everybody, and we all have a little bit of issue, but we're getting some of those, and we've managed to trade for a couple of them. We have a couple nice late model Passports. I know one of them only has 17,000 miles, and I think we may have traded for one the other day with 6,000 miles. But they just got on the lot probably, and we got those two new ones. So yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of stuff coming in, and we do have more down the road. So,
awesome, that's great. So let's talk about the featured vehicle, which I think is that one that you mentioned with 17,000 miles.
Yeah, it's a 19 Elite all-wheel drive. Leather interior, heated seats, navigation, sunroof, power liftgate, remote start, all the Honda sensing technology, the nice wheels. It's got the blacked out wheels. Has, like I say, 17,000 miles. One owner. It's really been taken care of. Nothing wrong with it. We just did a lease buyout and traded around and put them in another new one. So it was just one of those pretty hard to find something that has that low mileage.
No, that's great. That's a wonderful, wonderful vehicle. And check out shopwesternhonda.com and have all the information there. You have a price on that yet?
We don't. I don't have a price right away on it, but I know it has been priced. I didn't bring it with me.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. Buzz Garner with Western Honda. Again, shopwesternhonda.com. How can they get in touch with you? What's a good phone number for you, Buzz?
So 620-271-7855 will ring in my office, and 620-287 0067 is my cell. Feel free to call or text, and we'll be glad to help you out and try to take care of you.
Awesome. Buzz Garner with Western Honda. Again, shopwesternhonda.com. Thanks, Buzz. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate it, Big Bill. Thank you, man.
It's Mid America in the Morning, the Big Talker, KIUL. Much more to come. We will be right back.